Hello, and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hi, hello to all of my lovelies, my beauties, my royalties. Get out that scorching, boiling hot, petty tea. If you like it cold, hold the ice because these hot ice people, ooh, they're hot mess in these streets. Ooh, hot mess. Whew. And just, yeah, don't forget to take that deep breath. This is a River of Racism episode. So many racist, awful, terrible things are going on, especially with this government and America society. And it's really crazy how we're not racist, we're not bigots, we're not. They don't know the definition of racism. They don't know the definition of bigotry. And it's really crazy how many white, able bodied, straight, Republican, MAGA men have had the nerve to call me a bigot and racist Uh, mm, because I won't date a Republican. Let that set in because I've mentioned this a few times. If you're new, hi, hello, catch up. Over 700 episodes. I talk river of racism, dating nightmares, politics, mixture of all three, and like medical nightmares. Yeah, I was undiagnosed until decades later. Like, so people, doctors, that first it started with doctors. They accused me of being a liar, wanting attention, and all this other garbage. So that led to my family, and then like family, the family friends, and so my so-called friends, especially the ones at Oakley University, when I was finally old enough to try to say what was going on. None of them cared. None of them like believed me, or they said, well, the doctor, like everyone always said what the doctor said. So then, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I can sue my health system because I went through hell and back. So, yeah. So, yeah, catch up. There's so much to catch up on, especially a mixture of the dating and disability and like applying for jobs and disability, and then just life and disability, and on top of that being black and this like disability, a woman and disability, black woman disability, and just any other mixtures that you can put together. It's just because black woman, yeah, black woman, that's what this episode is about. Because okay, black women, maybe we need to ask society, what are we allowed to be? What positions are we allowed to be other than your maid, other than your help, other than anything that's always at the bottom? Because even though you guys treat us like we're at the bottom of the pyramid, it's like we have fought. And that's the thing. We are the most educated demographic in this country, but they have no problem firing us and then blaming it on DEI, saying like, "Oh, you only got the job because of DEI. You only got the job because you're black. You only got the job because you're a black woman and stuff." But then when a lot of these women, they either lose their jobs or something happens, and then they start their own job or their own businesses, jobs, careers, or whatever, and then people get mad. And then people get mad. And it kind of even reminds me with Oprah and how she lost her position with like the newscaster and stuff. And then all of a sudden, look at where she is now. Look at it. Like, I wonder if her old boss ever tried to catch up with her or even ever try to apologize. But that's with a lot of us black women. They they don't want to see us be great. They don't want to see us show how wonderful and amazing we can be. And because they don't want to train us, remember the real estate story? Yeah, because I got hired to do marketing for a real estate company, but they never trained me on the programs or anything like that they did to do the marketing like the entire time I was there. Instead, they kept telling me to train the receptionist because they found out that I was, better at, because like long story how like he got the job, he was working, but not really. But yeah, so I was training him, trying to show him different techniques, different things, and trying to even create different scripts that he could read or whatever. It's like because one of my masters is teaching and training with technology, so it's like I've used all of my degrees like in different ways in so many of my positions. And right now, for the business that I'm starting, I'm using all of my education. But it's like with that job, it was crazy because hearing, like sometimes walking down the hall and hearing them talk about other people in racist ways, and or hearing them talk about me in a racist way. And again, they never trained me. But then when the owner got sick, he would stay at the house. He never, like, the owner was in charge of the marketing. He was supposed to be training me since he was no longer at the house. Like, cause yeah, the business was at a house or whatever, but he never trained me. So I'm literally creating and like figuring out new ways to do the marketing for the company. And I'm working weekends because, like, well, I already told you guys the story or whatever, but I was doing a lot of things that, like, I was working as hard, like, and it's really crazy. There was another person that worked there. Oh, I wish I kept in touch with her because she saw, like, and it was funny. I would never forget the weekend where we were both working, and all of a sudden she slid her chair over to mine, and she's just like, "You are so creative and amazing. How did they end up getting you?" And I told her about my walking. She was like, "Oh, I noticed you're walking, but you're smart. You're brilliant." And I was like, "Yeah, but they won't train me." And she was like, "You should be training them." I'm like, "No, I don't know what websites they use for their marketing. I don't know their techniques. I don't know, like," and she was like, "With all of the things that you started, some of the things," I'm like, "if they would allow you to have the time to stick to these things, that would get them more business. That would, like, broaden their demographics. That would do so many amazing things." And I like I think, like, I was so thankful for the talk she gave me that weekend. It was crazy because they laid me off because the owner was sick. I knew it was garbage though because I knew the ex, or no, no, they're still married. Like, he had an ex-wife, but then he married the receptionist. And like at first they were like, "Oh, we're not," like, because the both of their spouses thought they were cheating on their spouses with each other to the point where they both got divorced. And then they're like, "Oh, we might as well," and then they got together and got married and stuff. And so yeah, I'm like, "Oh, okay. Mm, yeah, this should be a movie. This should be a movie. Do I believe their story? No, because I don't know. It's just, especially with the wife. I side eye her because, like, the way she talks about other people behind their back, especially the lawyer. Oh, the lawyer. If you ever listen to this video and stuff, it's like, 'cause sometimes I try to, like, yeah, you weren't the most comfortable person to go up to and talk to because, yeah, you're very aggressive. But yeah, just know that, yeah, she didn't have some good words to say about you. I tried to have your back. I tried to talk to you, but yeah, you're not personable at all. So yeah, but as soon as, like, they like they kept inviting other staff members to the house. Anyone, everyone but the black people, because the receptionist was black and I was black. But everyone else was going to their house. And the owner was training them and talking to them while he was in bed. But I was never invited. I was like, but, and he hired me like right before he got sick. So part of me is just like, so if you're trying to tell me I'm not doing my job, how am I supposed to do the job if I'm not being trained? But then I'm doing as much as I can and doing as much marketing, coming in when the, like, brother-in-law is too drunk to come to work on Saturdays, and doing things that are not even in my job description. Like, over half the stuff I did wasn't in my job description. But anyway, they laid me off, and then it's like a few months later, maybe it was like, yeah, a few to 6 months later, whatever, I see they're hiring unpaid internships. I'm so glad I got there while they were still paying, because yeah, I would not know. No, no. And then, because it's even crazy how many job interviews I went to, but once they saw my walking, some of them even try to change, like, "Oh yeah, why don't we just start off with the unpaid?" Like, "Oh no, that's not what I applied for." "Oh yeah, but let's just get your feet wet." Like, no, 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 that's not what I applied for. But yeah, it's like, like seeing a black woman with a disability. Yeah. All of a sudden they want to kind of backtrack, and no. And I've had job interviews where after the interview, or because they were so impressed and they said they couldn't wait to see me, blah blah blah, but then on the LinkedIn app, I see they look at my profile and they cancel my interview, or they say that they made a mistake and already hired somebody. And it's really sad because I kept, like, after so much has happened, and like when I started doing teaching, one reason was because like the marketing and advertising companies are shallow. Like, yeah, like the interviews that like, why do you walk like that? Are you gonna get yourself fixed? Is that permanent? What's wrong with you? These are the questions that I get at advertising and marketing companies. I've had racist, ableist, other racist ones. Which one of your parents are white? How do you know how to talk like that? Where are you from? Where are you really from? So it's like, guys, okay, okay. So black women, I feel like we just need to ask, what are we allowed to do? What are we allowed to be? Because even with the one role, it's like 'cause they have that movie that's going to be coming out soon. And oh, MAGA and these Republicans, these white people are so upset. They are so upset. And it's like, is it bad that I'm loving how upset they are? That, like, there's a black woman that's going to be playing the role of the most beautiful woman in the world. It's like, because, yeah, like Helen of Troy. Helen of Troy. Because, yeah, they don't want to say we're beautiful. They don't like saying we're beautiful. They like to call us everything else in the book. They love when we're not able to be as beautiful as we are. They don't like us being our natural beauty. They don't like our natural hair. One reason why Republicans, yeah, I'm not racist, but they voted down the Crown Act. I don't think it's a big deal. Well, if you didn't think it's a big deal, you should have voted yes on it. Or you should have talked to some black people, because we know you don't have black friends. It's like, oh yeah, John James, like, no, no, don't talk to, like, no. And it's like, maybe try to talk to some people with natural hair, ask about their experience, ask about the importance of it, instead of acting dumb, stupid, ignorant, poorly educated. And this is why we need DEI, but so many people are ignorant about DEI, and they just think about, oh, well, that's just with racism and that's just this and that's, like, no, it's called making sure people are ignorant, stupid, dumb, and naive when it comes to people that are different than them. And that's why one reason why so many Republicans are so naive, ignorant, poorly educated. And this is why what my ex, Mr. Nohart, bragged that he never had to learn any African American history in Lake City, Michigan. Yes, I'm going to say that city. I'm going to make sure people know that, yeah, your students are bragging, because even the brother was bragging. Because when I went up north to visit them together, like, because when he mentioned that, he told me this, and then the older brother was like, oh yeah, I didn't have to either. Yeah, it's no big deal. See, it's like I got through life never having to learn anything about that. It's like, yeah, there's no point. And it's like saying all of this stuff, and I'm looking at him like shocked, and he was like, oh, that's not racist. Oh, look at your face. But I'm like, yeah, because you're proud to be ignorant. You're proud to be stupid in that area. Really? Really? You're acting like my history is an American history. You're acting like my ancestors who were brought over, forced to work to build this country, didn't matter. So black women, I just feel like we need to ask, what are we allowed to do? Because, like, they were haters with Princess Tiana. They were haters with Haley Bailey with The Little Mermaid. They were haters with Tinkerbell being an African American woman. They are haters with Helen of Troy. Yeah, oh, they haters. But then it's really crazy because, oh, they want a tan. They want to get a larger tushy. They want, it's like, because, yeah, Kim Kardashian, she has been like pulling off a lot of African American beauty trends and things like that. It's because even when she gets braids, people want to call it beautiful, artistic, and things like that. But, but, mm, when Zendaya wears beautiful locks in her hair, then they want to try to stereotype her and drag her and things like that. And then there was this other beautiful mixed young lady. She had a type of braids in her hair, and people told her that that was not red carpet suitable and things. And it's just like, um, maybe you just need to be talking to the white women like that because you're not going to be talking to black. Like, no, black women, we should be able to have our cultural, our ancestor type of hair. If you don't know the history of braids and the importance of braids, because even with the Underground Railroad, parts of the history with the braiding is astounding, is beautiful, is amazing. It's science, like the science of it, the geography of the braiding techniques is breathtaking. But it's frustrating and annoying because like there's so many things going on right now. They're taking away our vote and they're happy and proud of it. They're literally putting the orange man flat like flags around their necks like their capes, Superman capes, walking around their Capitol buildings like, yeah, we're taking away your vote. Yeah, look, I'm being a bigot, but I don't have to care. It's like we're gonna hide the racism with like trying to like do other stuff. Yeah, it's like you can't prove that it's racist. You can't prove I'm being racist, but you can't prove that I'm being racist. And but then this country doesn't want to give reparations to black people, but they want to give reparations to people who climbed over the Capitol wall and things, eliminated police officers, like antagonized, hurt, damaged police officers, spread their fecal matter on the walls. And but then they were like, oh, they were just trespassing. They were just walking around. They were yelling, hang Mike Pence. They don't want to give reparations to people that were like the ancestors who were forced. But then, and people want to say, oh, slavery was so long ago, but we're still going through the damage of it. And it wasn't just with slavery, Jim Crow laws, the drowned cities, the massacres, the segregation, the unfairness with employment, the Green Book, and even not allowing to go to college or have an education or read and learn. And we have some idiotic black men or black people out here. Oh, we don't need to know how to read. We need to be financially literate, but yeah, we don't need to know how, like, mm, mm. Don't listen to fools like that. Don't listen to fools like that. Because we have some people saying that, but even while I was teaching in the inner city, I was doing as much as I could, pouring my heart, like trying to like get my eighth graders to a level so that they would be more ready and prepared for high school. But then they would have other teachers tell like whispering in their ear, not even whispering, it's like some of the students recorded it because they were saying it out loud for the whole class. But they would say how you're see this teacher, yeah, she's trying to turn you guys white. She's trying to make you smart. And then when the principal was trying to bring the robotics competition, I was in it when I was in school. And it's like the teachers started mocking the students because the students were staying after to learn about it, or not after, I think it was during like their gym class or like instead of gym, or I forgot exactly when, but it was near the end of the day. But anyway, doesn't matter. It's like the principal is like encouraging, like, yes, like you guys can learn about robotics, and like if like you guys play video games, you guys play with the scooters, you do this and that or whatever, you can learn about that and maybe even like make your own items. And so some of the students were staying after, they were willing to listen, but their teachers, once they got into the classrooms, oh, you're gonna be nerds, oh, you're gonna be white, oh, this is gonna be so funny. Black people who went to college and got degrees now putting down other students, trying to tell them not to get an education, not to learn either a skill, a trade, or something that requires a degree. I will never forget when one of my students came to visit. It was a year after he just started high school, and he told me about the science. Like I've talked, like this science teacher, I couldn't stand her. I still can't stand her. I was like I I better never see her again. With the recording students had about her, I know I'm not perfect because I have a smart mouth. When students want to talk to me like an adult, it's kind of like a roller coaster ride. Make sure you put the rail all the way back and stuff. Hold on tight, whatever. Because I will tell. I don't care. I will tell, like, especially if you're going to threaten me and like, yeah, get ready. I don't care. But especially when I'm protecting and trying to get some of these other students to graduate and finish and stuff. But yeah, this one student came to visit and he had a job at Taco Bell and things. And I was like, okay, okay, cool. He was like, you're gonna be learning some skills and stuff like that. But then he told me what the science teacher told him. Yeah, the science teacher said that's all I'm ever gonna be able to do anyway. So I better not lose this job. I better not get in a fight and stuff because I'm not gonna be able to do anything else in my life. So then I'm trying to change his mind on that because he was just like, she's right. So I was like, I'm gonna probably just have to get used to this, blah blah blah. And I'm like, what? No, no. And it's like we need to lift up the minimum wage and stuff for fast food and like all the minimum wage jobs and everything like that. But also it's like especially with when it comes to education, we need STEM, we need trades in more of the inner city schools. It's like that's one, like if I can have that as add that to my goal in some way to like once I get my businesses together, like be able to save money and stuff so that like maybe put equipment inside classrooms. That would be a goal and a dream for like because we need to make sure that our next generation, the end of Z and then A, like they know the importance of learning and they have careers and stuff and they're going to be able to be self-sufficient and be able to have like teach like they need to be financially like literate because yeah it's like even though he said don't need to be literate, that's oh but yeah, be both, especially now with especially the economy we have going on. It's like because I know with my eighth graders, I was teaching them about writing a check and how to make sure like you balance it and things like that. Teachers were teasing them, laughing at like, "You're never gonna even have a checkbook." It's like, I doubt you're gonna have a good credit score. What's your credit score gonna be? And it's just like, stop doing. And when I would show them even about investments, and some of my listeners like, why would you do all this? It's like when you don't learn about slavery, when you don't teach or learn about slavery, and then the Jim Crow, and then the education, and the miseducation, and the forced labor, and the awful treatment, and even how African American history leads to our highways and expressways. People don't know how much Biden did for the African American community and how much so many of these things go back and so many were to hurt African Americans. And so even till this day, it's like we have so much to catch up on. To where like even with real estate, so many real estate agents are being sued because they're being racist because like they're still trying to redline people. My parents, they had to fire one of their real estate agents because they refused to show them houses past a certain line. So they fired her and hired another woman. It's sad but true. And it's like, even with YouTube, which really this broke my heart yet, like, because over the last few months, I have seen one after another, after another, after another African American booktuber end their show. Several. And the one I saw yesterday broke my, because she got teary eyed and she got emotional. And she said it's because YouTube doesn't show her channel. And it's so true. Yeah, YouTube, like, yeah, with black people, they don't let us shine as much. With TikTok, like TikTok, remember with all those dances, everyone was giving credit to the white people, but the black people were the ones that made the dances. But then some people were like, well, they should have shined more. They should have gotten more, like, more marketable. They were like, no, you don't know how social media works. It's like everywhere we go, like, either why are they playing a mermaid? Why are they playing Helen? Why are they playing Tinkerbell? Well, get your own storylines, but then we get our own storylines. Oh yeah, I don't want to watch that. That's a black character. I can't connect to that character. With my writing, with my characters. Do you know how many people have told me not to have a main character that's black? Because they're like, oh, not as many people are gonna read it. They're not gonna want to watch it. Do you know? And then how many African American authors, once people offer to create their books into movies, they turn their African American characters to white so more people watch it and view it because they want to make more money from it. So, and yes, it's fiction, they can do that, but it's just, it's crazy how many times either a movie is torn apart because of like a black woman representation, or people don't want to watch it or see it because of black representation, and or if the woman is talented, wonderful, and amazing, they will, because with Haley Bailey's voice, Chloe too, like they're, oh my gosh, heavenly voices. They're not talented, they can't sing, they can't act, they're terrible, they're this, they're that. Like, what? It's like, to me, I'm just like, how can you, like, you can't say I'm racist because I'm just talking about this one, like, yeah, But then even with the book talkers, it's like only for African American month do some of them say, "Oh, listen to this person," and then like and subscribe. But then people like and subscribe, but then they never like and listen again. They only liked for African American month. It's like a lot of these booktubers have so much more to share, have so much more to talk about, but they're not given a chance because of the color of their skin. It's like people don't want to connect to them. People don't want to learn from them. People feel like they can't relate to them. We're human too. Remember, Black Lives Matter. Part of our lives are our hobbies and interests and goals. It's like we should count for social media, but unless we're doing some stereotypical things, people don't want to pay attention to us. Especially if it's educational, people don't want to listen to us. Especially if we're outside the quote unquote African American norms. It's like, if we're nerds or geeks, or like, especially with anime and books and different things, oh, they don't want to, like, no, because that's not the mold that, especially even with the government and different spectrums, because when they see us, they see food stamps. When they see us, they see baby mamas. When they see us, they see a certain dialect, they see a certain look, and try, like, they see certain things when they look at us, and and when we don't fit that, like so many job interviews, oh, you tricked me, I would have never pictured you. Oh wow, it's like, how did you learn how to do this? Why do you act like that? And like, oh, you do this. And yeah, it's sad and pathetic. It's extremely sad and pathetic. What are we allowed to be? Where are we allowed to go? Like, I'm gonna do as I want to do anyway, but as a black woman, I just want to, like, be honest. Tell me what you think, you know. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.